What's up, everybody? We're back here with another episode of Track Life. I'm your host, Senior Associate Editor Brian Wagner, and we're at Norwalk up at Summit Motorsports Park for the Summit Equipment Nationals, and it's the big show. It's the NHRA, Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock, the whole deal. So much going on. It's awesome to come to this event and see a little bit of everything. Stock, super stock, all the classes are here. It's an absolute blast. Tons of fans here, even with the rain a little bit. We're checking out all the pros, walking nitro lanes, seeing them come out and get their cars ready for an afternoon qualifying session. Already had tons of cars down the track. It's been a good weekend. We've got some really cool content in this episode of Dragzine's Track Life. All right, I've got one of the behind-the-scenes people that you don't see a lot of at most events like this, and it's part of the group that owns the track, Evan Bader. You know, Evan, this track is always on point. It's clean, it's awesome. What goes into making an event like this happen?
I'll tell you what, man, a whole lot of coordination and planning, and a lot of good people. You mentioned how clean the facility was. You know, our park services department has, they've been putting in 70, 80, 90-hour weeks for the past 3 weeks, just kind of getting this place ready. I mean, the grass needs to be cut like every couple days. There's always trash to be picked up. And, you know, they're working their tails off, making sure that the facility is clean when everybody gets here. And, you know, obviously right now staffing is tough, and they're working with a smaller crew, so they're definitely putting the hours in to make sure the facility is nice. Other than that, you know, there's, like I said, a lot of coordinating. We start planning this event in February and March. So, I mean, 3-4 months out, we're planning this event, kind of what it looks like, what we need to rent. I mean, there's bicycle barrier that needs rented, there's generators. We need to have like stone on hold for the campgrounds and the grass areas if it rains. There's a lot of things that go on months leading up to this event, so that it appears to be as flawless, you know, as everybody thinks it is day of, even though, you know, on our end, it certainly doesn't feel like that. I always kind of use the analogy like the duck on the pond, you know what I mean? On the surface, he's calm and collected, but underneath, he's paddling like crazy. But lots and lots of planning. We have an event planner that is actually 80 pages long of just stuff for this event. Whether it's what time the concession stands open, how late the showers are open, how many radios we need for the event, what time we need parkers here. It's kind of our event Bible. And like I said, it takes months of planning and brainstorming to put that stuff together. So on event day, everything moves flawlessly.
Now here's the thing, folks. I've been here like 3 times in the past 5 weeks for 3 different events. It's the same thing every time. Spot on, like it's like clockwork. It's like a military operation. I actually saw your dad during the NHRA race pick up a broom and start sweeping stuff. That to me speaks volumes about what you guys do and why every track should be held to the Norwalk standard. I still call it Norwalk. I know it's Summit Motorsports Park, but when you're old school, it's always Norwalk.
It'll always be Norwalk, and we certainly do appreciate Summit and them believing in us and making it Summit Motorsports Park. But you're right, it'll always be Norwalk to those of us who have been around. I mean, we've only been Summit for. What event is this the 17th or 18th?
Yes.
So, yeah, not even old enough to buy cigarettes yet. But it's definitely been, it's a lot of work to make all this happen. And we, you know, that planner that I was talking about, that's 80 pages, we do that for every event. So we had one for NHRA when you were here a couple weeks ago. That one wasn't quite 80 pages long, but we have weekly meetings every Wednesday where we kind of go over and we lay out the events ahead of us and make sure that our ducks are in a row. So especially this year, we're doing it with about half the staff that we have usually been doing it. We've got fewer people doing more things, but that's where the planning and the organization definitely comes into play.
There you have it, folks. Make sure you come out to Norwalk at least one time in your fandom or as a racer, because it is a top-notch operation. We're here in the pits. Let me get centered up here a little bit more with Buddy Hull, part of Terry Haddock's team. And dude, you guys are here grinding it out. You know, you don't live the luxury life. You were over here messing with headers and stuff like that. So you guys live the deal, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we do whatever it takes. I mean, we were here last night until midnight preparing the cars, getting it as close as we can to start, and then back at it again at 7:30 this morning. You know, just making sure that we're fully prepared and then we're ready to go to the line at 6 p.m. today. Absolutely.
And that's what's so important with a nitro car, is that it's not gas cans and battery chargers. There's a lot of work that needs done.
There's a lot of work. Yeah, these cars essentially get torn down all the way to the short block between rounds and rebuilt, so that way we know for sure we're going up there with a good piece and ready to be competitive. Absolutely.
And you guys are doing that. You know, the word budget is very funny to apply to stuff like this, because, you know, it's still expensive, but you guys are doing it, you know, as a small team, and that's still got to make it fun, right?
Yeah, no, it makes it fun, and it forces us to be more creative. It forces us to be more cautious with how we tune the cars. It forces us to be very, very diligent in our preparation to make sure that we don't make any little mistakes, so we don't tear up any parts that we didn't need to tear up, and it keeps us honest, to say the least. So yeah, it's kind of cool, actually. I mean, it'd be cooler if we had more money. So if you're listening, you got some money, let us know. But no, we have a ball working on all sides of the cars for sure.
What's your favorite part about living this track life, this nitro life?
Oh man, I grew up at the racetrack. I'm a third generation drag racer, and for me, it's simple. There's nothing that beats the atmosphere at the racetrack. Everything from, you know, the guys we work with, we have a ton of fun. You know, the fans, without the fans, we don't have drag races. And without, you know, the ability to come out here and burn nitro and have fun at the level we have at, to me, it's just also, there's a piece of my life missing. I love the drag races. There's nothing better. There's nothing cooler in the whole earth, on the whole earth, than drag racing. So.
Now, you guys kind of have an interesting setup here working with Terry. Tell me about how that works.
Yeah, so, you know, first of all, Terry and I are friends. He and I have gotten together and worked on a special project for the last year. Things evolved and things changed, and next thing you know, I'm sitting in the seat of his top wheel dragster, which I'm forever thankful for. But yeah, we definitely have an interesting dynamic in which, you know, we do whatever it takes. Once again, I drive the truck and trailer to the track. You know, we work on the cars. It's just whatever it takes. I could never even list all the things and all the dynamics that we have to do to be able to get these cars to the starting line. And it teaches you a lot, that's for sure.
Well, it's awesome to see a lot of the smaller teams like you guys out here putting in the work and keeping drag racing alive.
Man, we're doing everything we can do, and man, keep cheering us on, because we need it, and without us out here, you know, the big team's got nobody to race. So keep cheering us on, and we hope to be able to entertain you guys, and so that we can make your day enjoyable at the racetrack, or if you're sitting on the TV. So thank you very much.
right, I'm here with John Denbrock, who has a really cool car. I'm a sucker for nostalgia pro stock, dry hops, the whole deal. And I thought this was an original Grumpy Jenkins car at first, but John, it's not, but it still has a cool story, right?
Yes. I found a car in central Indiana. It's been a race car its entire life, and researching it, basically it ran throughout the Midwest, but it was in such great condition. I decided to restore the car, basically update it. And as I stripped it down to bare metal, it's an all steel car. Bill Jenkins was one of my heroes back when I was a kid, and I was not a huge fan of clones and copies. However, I heard the story behind Jenkins and his red cars, and he had a 66 Nova that was destroyed, that was red from a trailer incident. And then a little story I never heard, he had a red Vega that was destroyed. And he vowed he'd never have another red car. So in researching that, I found out that his big-time money-winning car that he ran in '72, when he debuted the car in '73, he was going to paint it red. He thought it would photograph better. And they were match racing it. Lombardo was driving the car, and it was called the most expensive match race in history. They were down in Florida match racing, and Lombardo put it into the guardrail and totaled the car. What they didn't know, as everybody was working and focusing on Lombardo, is the Sox Martin car ran off the end of the track and also crashed. So superstition aside, I decided to go with the red car and tell the story. So once again, if the car wouldn't have been destroyed, here's what it would have looked like today.
Now that's really cool that, the Nostalgia Pro Stock's awesome because it really kind of keeps the history alive of the class, I think. And there's some really cool other cars that are here. What's it like kind of running in the circle of nostalgia guys?
Well, listen, man, I was the kid with my fingers through the cyclone fence, trying to get a view or peering through at these cars. And, I had a good career with General Motors. I was an engineer with GM. And deep down inside, I still had that little kid mentality. And so I thought, if there's ever a point in time that I could relive my youth. So once again, I mean, to relive your youth, it's almost like a time machine for me. For a microsecond or just a split second when I'm getting in and I'm putting the Linko in first gear and getting ready to do the burnout, I feel like that kid again on the fence. Except this time I'm holding the steering wheel. So I'm basically reliving my childhood. And it's just such a good group of people. We really don't get paid for any of this, but it's usually these events are invitational. So, we get the carpets kind of rolled out for us, and we do some exhibition passes. And I'm just having the time of my life, and all the other guys are just fun to hang around with.
Well, the cool thing is, as I've been kind of sitting here watching what's going on, is the fans.
Yep.
You see all the people walk up and they start at the front of your guys' row to the back of the row.
Yep.
They take pictures, they talk, they point. You see some of the older guys telling the younger guys about back in the day when they saw this car.
Yep.
And I think that's what makes Nostalgia Pro Stock so awesome, is that it's just like a living time capsule that you guys get to reenact. It's like, people reenact Civil War, but they're not shooting bullets, but you guys are reenact drag racing, but you're actually racing.
Yeah, we definitely don't hold anything back. And, like I say, we let them fly. And the crowd likes it. And, back in the day when I was growing up, whether it was Bill Jenkins, Warren Johnson, Bob Glidden, I mean, these guys, they built the motors, they built the cars, they drove the cars themselves. They'd even drive the haulers to the track. So they did it all. It wasn't, big corporations and people with big money. I mean, these guys were working hard and they were driving them and building them. And it just, to me, it was a glorious time of auto racing. The guys were bigger than life.
This car is badass. I love it. I gotta ask, can I get it started up? Maybe we give it a couple wraps?
you know what? I gotta warm the oil up. I gotta get some oil pressure in it first. But if we take a cut, if we can come back and do it.
You know what? I might take you up on that. Let's
Yeah.
get her fired up. Thank you so much for talking the history of this vehicle, and maybe I'll get lucky enough to sit behind the wheel here.
Absolutely.
And check it out.
Okay, thank you.